On this episode of MythBusters, it's the fast and the curious.
Dude is dead. What do we do?
Adam and Jamie live out their stunt driver dreams
He's caught on the friggin' seatbelt.
to tackle a trilogy of car chase cliches. Our Hollywood getaway gymnastics
Just like home cooking.
possible in the real world. Then Cary, Grant, and Tori test the best mythical methods
Lion poop.
to keep creepy, cute, and colossal critters
Oh my gosh.
out of your property
I hate snakes.
and pants.
Oh, it's gonna go in his pants. It's gonna go in his pants.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
What more do you need to know?
and Jamie Heineman.
Things are gonna get a little crazy in here.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Tori Belleci,
We survived!
Grant Imahara,
Something just touched me!
and Cary Byron.
Time to wreck this car.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. First up, Adam and Jamie fulfill their Hollywood action hero ambitions.
Cool. Story about car crashes, right?
Ooh, no. It's about driving and cooperating at the same time.
No car crashes?
No car crashes. Let me fill you in. In the movies, you often see two people in a car. One's driving, one's a passenger, and the driver will say, "You steer!" And the passenger steers while the driver operates the throttle and the brake, and somehow they still escape the bad guys. And I wonder, how easy is that really?
And then we crash the cars.
Hopefully not. Doesn't that sound like fun to try? Just cooperating while driving?
Sure.
No silver screen car chase chaos is complete without a little daring and sharing. Supposedly, when the driver has his hands full with a classic cliche, the passenger can simply reach over, take the wheel, and the high-speed action continues without a hitch. And to find out if that's a practical possibility or a flimsy film fiction, Adam and Jamie decamp to a deserted destination.
I'm standing at the end of the New Jerusalem Airport runway in Tracy, California. About 1.5 kilometers of runway lays out behind me. It is the perfect place for us to do all of our testing without hurting a single soul, except maybe each other.
This is a classic movie scenario where a couple of guys are trying to outrun somebody, and the driver becomes compromised by whatever the shenanigans are that are going on. He asks for his passenger to help him out by taking control of the steering wheel. There we go. Now, obviously, this is going to make control of the car kind of difficult, and that's our first test.
And that's done. Oh, wait, that's finished.
So to test the mythical sharing is caring scenario,
Go.
the guys will each drive a control through the cone-marked slalom course at car chase speeds. Then average both of their times.
Finish.
104.
And compare that
Go!
to the time they get while sharing the driving duties. Can you really match your solo speed and skill with a co-driver on the wheel and the other on the pedals?
59 seconds.
That's a combined average of 62 seconds. And with their marker laid down, it's time to partner up.
In a very short while, Jamie and I are going to cooperate on the driving of this car. One of us steering, one of us operating the throttle and the brake. Personally, I don't think that's going to slow us down very much. We might not get along on a personal level.
I'm just
Pretend
expressing
we
my
care.
opinion, and I'm not giving you your opinion. I'm just saying I think it's a
about
reason.
every one of my opinions. But when it comes to collaborating on something like driving a car, Jamie! What? What the hell was that? I think we're going to be just fine.
Sure, what could go wrong?
All right, this is cooperative driving. Test number 1 in 3, 2, 1, go.
So the car chase is on, and Jamie, while still controlling the speed and brakes, is about to hand over the wheel.
When do you think you want to take over?
Anytime you want.
Okay.
Oh!
When the driver's not in the driver's seat, is it as easy as Tinseltown would have us believe?
This isn't so bad. Coming up to a turn. Here comes the hard part. Oh, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Oh, that ain't bad at all.
Not bad at all. It matched the control time exactly.
And finished.
But the fat lady doesn't sing until all the data is in. It's Jamie's turn.
All right, yeah, it's all yours.
Not behind, but to the side of the wheel.
Here comes the first difficult turn. Nice, well done.
Just like home cooking.
Yep, nice and easy until you leave the stove unattended.
Whoa! Jamie! I think maybe you should have used 2 hands on that one.
Well, our time was pretty good on that test, but it did not go without a hitch. Jamie was steering with one hand, if I might say, a little nonchalantly, and it caught up with him on our last turn.
That was a little touch and go there at one spot.
Yeah, I kind of undershot that one corner.
But we still came in at pretty much exactly the time that we expected, the time of our average. But this is fun.
It's great.
So, aside from a moment of one-handed nonchalance, the conclusion is clearly gone in 60 seconds.
It would seem that we have proven that driving cooperatively is just as easy as driving by yourself, at least with 2 experienced drivers.
Yeah.
But I've got a wrinkle that I want to add to this test, and I'm going to bring it up with Jamie.
Yep, this stunt driving dream just got armed and dangerous.
Yeah!
Next up, a medley of creature discomforts.
Well, you know how they say that the worst things you can work with are babies and animals? Well, we're half lucky. We get to work with animals. We're gonna test all sorts of mythical animal deterrents.
Like what?
Well, remember when we did that myth where we saw if a bag of water can repel flies off your front porch?
Apparently bags of water attract flies.
But ever since then, the message board has been inundated with requests for us to test different ways to repel animals like snakes, cats, or bear.
Oh my. All right, well, why don't we get the most popular animal repellents and see which ones work and which ones don't?
Great.
When it comes to keeping critters from causing calamitous catastrophe on your property, the MythBuster message board has a host of homemade mythical remedies. And first up are those notorious flower bed defecators, Felis catus.
If you want to keep cats from digging or pooping in your garden, the most popular are water bottles, which work so well with the flies, and one I don't entirely understand, which is lion poop.
What is it, like the king of the jungle is supposed to scare the cats away?
Well, let's make a cat house that's comfy for them, that has a garden, someplace where they'd want to go, and then put out all these deterrents and see what happens.
So the setup is simple, a cat-friendly environment to make the felines feel at home. And a planter box, which the team will attempt to deter the determined kitties from entering and destroying.
Catopia, Catropolis, Catmandu, whatever you call this feline fantasy, I think it's now perfect.
The cat house is ready for its customers. But first, the all-important hour-long control.
So our environment is all set for our control test, and we have the cutest guests ever. We have 4 cats and 4 kittens. And what we're gonna do is put them in here and see how many of them go into the planter box. Be free.
Now, after we've done the control test, then we'll do the test again, this time deploying our deterrents. All of these are said to be things that will keep cats out of your flower bed. And also, so that we don't affect the test by adding extra stimulus, we're gonna leave the room. And we're gonna monitor their behavior on this remote video feed.
One behavioral pattern is that all 4 of the adult cats love getting high.
It's obvious that there's one place that they all really like, and that looks like it's the cat tower.
But the crucial control data is how many cats go about their business in the flower bed.
Look at that, the cat is peeing in the planter box. That is perfect.
Dude, they love it.
And with the hour up, the numbers are in. 7 of the 8 cats visited the planter box at least once. but their behavior has warranted a slight tweak to the test.
So when we first started the test, we noticed two really interesting things. One, all of the kittens and one of the adults went straight for the planter box. The other is that almost all the cats go for the tower. They like being up high. So when we deploy our deterrents, I think we're going to go for both the planter and the tower.
The first fan-suggested deterrent is clear plastic water bottles. Will they keep the kitties out of the flower bed and their favorite cat tower?
All right, I think that's enough.
And how?
So this whole theory that the water bottle is a good cat repellent is similar to the one that it repels flies. The idea is that the sunlight hits the water, it refracts the light and creates confusion. Be free. It didn't work for the flies, and cats are a lot smarter than flies, so my feeling is it's not gonna work for them either.
With stage lights directed onto the bottles, creating the laser-like light show the cats are supposed to hate, the early signs are mildly encouraging.
Okay, they're sort of like, what is this? What are these things everywhere? Oh, I don't know.
But it's no more than a moment's hesitation. Despite the light-reflecting water bottles liberally placed in the key areas, the cats exhibit identical behavior as the control and do exactly what they want to do, where they want to do it.
So there you have it. Within 15 minutes, all of our cats except for one entered the box with all the water bottles in it. And some even did their business.
So with the first homespun deterrent done, it's 0 for 1. Next, we'll foil the felines.
Apparently cats hate the stuff. They don't like walking on it. So we're going to spread it all around the places they love the most. The garden/kitty litter box, the cat condo, see if it makes the cat scat. That should do it. Time for the kitties.
Come on, little dude. It's time to be free.
The question is, does the foil freak out our furry friends by proving too repulsive to put a paw on?
It's not like they prefer the foil, but it's not a deterrent. They're under it, over it at any particular time. Half the cats are on the cat condo and the other half are in the play box.
And with all the cats visiting the planter box at some point within the hour, this one is
Busted. Look at it. They're all over the flower garden. No way.
which leaves one final internet-inspired feline force field.
Now for the mythical deterrent we've all really been looking forward to. Lion poop.
Ew, look at it. She's lying about on the fence.
Ew, it's sticking to my hand. I don't know why anybody would want to use something this vile and disgusting to keep the cats from going in your garden and leaving something vile and disgusting. There's like little pieces of unchewed guts and fur in here. Maybe if it was just a perimeter and you had a very large garden and no sense of smell.
Carrie may be dubious,
All right, cats are in. Let's get out of here.
but the theory is that by marking off the territory with the spoor of a big cat, the kitty cats will steer clear.
When you guys dropped the kittens, last time they kind of just ran in. They're sniffing around the perimeter. They're not crossing the poop.
They're clearly cautious cats. A new smell, a new stimulus. Something's afoot. But with no signs of an actual lion, it only causes our furry pawed friends to merely pause.
Oh, look, now they're starting to go inside the planter. It doesn't seem to be working.
No, it's definitely not forming a protective barrier around the flower bed.
And by the time is up, not only is their behavior unaffected, the numbers match the control. 7 out of 8 visit the flower bed.
All right, so lion poop as a cat repellent, totally busted.
Yeah, definitely busted.
Yeah, busted. And believe me, the cure is worse than the disease.
Yes.
So we haven't had any success at all finding any cat deterrents. None of them were able to discourage any of the cats to go into any of our spaces. In fact, the kittens, being so curious, blew right past all of them.
So now we're gonna move on to snakes.
Yep. How do you stop a serpent from sliding into secret forbidden spaces?
Oh, it's gonna go in his pants. It's gonna go in his pants.
Adam and Jamie are testing the reality of their stunt driving dreams.
Okay.
And aside from a close encounter with off-road disaster, sharing the driving duties is as simple as the movies would have us believe.
Just like home cooking.
But Adam wants to take it up a gear.
Jamie, I've got a wrinkle for this test. I want to bring it up with you.
What's that?
Well, if you were driving a car and I was steering it, in an action movie, the reason would be so that you, the driver, would have your hands free to shoot at something.
Like what? Pedestrians?
Let's say bad guys. So I'm thinking, let's give ourselves a gun and some targets to shoot at and run this test again.
Sure, why not? So we tried driving with one of us on the steering wheel and one of us on the pedals. And that actually worked pretty well. But now we're going to be doing some multitasking. We're still going to have the same setup, but the guy in the driver's seat is also going to be aiming and shooting at targets along the road while they're underway.
So with paintball gun loaded and locked, token bad guy targets ready and waiting, it's showtime.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Cooperative driving with shooting in 3, 2, 1, go!
With the driver distracted, dealing out death to passing signposts, is the multitasking messing with the speed and efficiency of their high-speed getaway.
Got it.
Nice!
Adam keeps them on track, and Jamie has his eye on the bad guy prize. And to try and at least match their control time, Jamie has the pedal to the metal.
Hit it, hit it! Yeah!
I was actually surprised how well I did with this test. I was able to hit over 50% of my targets.
Oh, missed it.
The bad news was that I drove slower, 25% slower in fact.
And we're in.
Now what does this mean as far as the movies go? Is it as easy as they make it out to be? Well, I would say no, at least not unless you've had a heck of a lot of practice, which I hope you haven't.
So with a significantly slower time, Jamie thinks sharpshooting and deft cooperative driving are mutually exclusive.
Go!
But Adam, Assassin Savage, is up.
Yeah!
Maybe he'll be more successful.
Come on. Ah! Damn it, I missed it.
Maybe he won't.
Well, that didn't go nearly as well as I thought it might. I might even refer to that test as a disaster. I thought I'd be able to hit many of the targets and get close to my driving time, but not only did I not hit most of the targets, damn it, but my driving time was off, slower by a full 50%. I came in at 1.5 minutes.
Finish!
That is far more difficult than the movies would lead you to believe.
So where do we stand on cooperative driving?
Well, the cooperative driving itself is not that hard. It's when you have to do something else as well, like, say, shooting, and then it becomes a lot more difficult.
A lot more difficult than the movies would lead you to believe.
Yep.
With driving Miss Daisy times and hapless assassin accuracy, this myth's a car crash. But Hollywood and car chase cliches go together like Buster and stunt work. They keep coming back for more.
He's stuck on his seatbelt.
Turn, you gotta turn.
Cary, Grant, and Tori failed to tame the kitty cats.
Yeah, definitely busted.
Yeah, busted.
Question is, will their menagerie of DIY deterrents fend off more fearsome fauna? Frantic fans threatened by snakes setting up home in their house are desperate to find out.
All right, so next up is snakes.
Now, why would you want to repel snakes? They're so cute and cuddly. Now, these techniques I want to hear. What are they?
All right, the most requested are a mixture of kitty litter and mothballs, and finally, cayenne pepper.
All right, sounds simple enough. We build an enclosure for the snakes, put someplace in the middle where they'd really want to go, lay out our deterrents, and see if they're repelled.
Well, I have a perfect environment that I want to build for these snakes.
Glass coffin, nice inviting jackets so they cuddle up with you.
No,
Bad memories.
trying to forget that one.
You could say snakes and Tori have a love-hate relationship.
There's going on my shirt.
He hates them, and they love him. So to help distract him from his fears, he's channeling his inner Indiana Jones.
Now, to make my Raiders of the Lost Ark habitat, I'm gonna revert to Hollywood trickery. My first chainsaw, I got some bead foam right here. I'm gonna sculpt it to look like ancient ruins. I'm no historian, but I'm pretty sure this is how the Aztecs did it.
Rigging the snake exclosure as an ancient film set not only looks cool, it provides motivation for the snakes to cross from one side to the other. A movement the team can quantify and use to rate the deterrence.
So the set is done, and as you can tell, Indiana Jones had a huge influence on my childhood. Now, this isn't the biggest set that I've ever built, but this is gonna be perfect for our snakes. It creates an environment that is very inviting for them. It's very bright here in the foreground, and this is gonna drive them to our altar, which is dark. And this is gonna be a perfect place to test our myths to see if we can actually repel snakes.
In addition to finding the dark altar appealing, snakes are ectothermic. So undersoil heating at the far end of the set will also attract them, as will a warm, fresh TV host. Tori is once again being used as snake bait.
I hope these deterrents work.
For our control, we're going to introduce our snakes one at a time so we can check their behaviors, see where they go, and then put our deterrents there. And just for good measure, Tori is going to be sitting on the set. He just loves snakes.
Why does it have to be snakes? I hate snakes.
So for the control, Carrie and Grant will place 21 snakes.
Wow, you're heavy. There you go. Tori's over there.
At this end of the set and monitor their movement.
Tori has lots of warm, dark, moist places where you can hide.
Maybe she can smell fear.
And then see if the deterrents significantly alter their behavior.
It looks like Stella has settled to where she wants to go. You want to go get like a different one, maybe a small one?
Yeah, I think I'll get a small, fast one.
Oh, Tori loves those.
I start getting a little nervous.
It's going to be a long day for Tori.
This is the most venomous snake in North America, the coral snake.
Oh, it's gonna go in his pants. It's gonna go in his pants.
As the snakes keep coming,
Australian diamond python.
the team keeps score of how many cross over and head for the dark side.
All right, cool. He's going into the altar. That's exactly what we wanted.
Here is a carpet python.
We're actually creating an environment for the snakes to get out of the light and move toward the darkness.
Albino corn snake.
And then what we can do is set up our repellents and see if that keeps them out of the dark spots.
Here you go. Here's a couple more for you.
This one's trying to go up my pant leg. They're all over me. Whose idea was this?
I'm guessing the owner of that evil laugh.
We really didn't need Tori in the Temple of Doom set. I mean, he hates snakes. I just made the suggestion because I thought it would be cool and fun. And he did what I said.
And mean? You left out mean.
And now we're gonna cover him in snakes.
He's in my sleeve.
And with all 21 released, the numbers are in. 18 snakes slithered across the set and secreted themselves into the numerous dark nooks and crannies around the altar. And Tori.
So this was a great control test. Now all we need to do is pull all these snakes out, set up our repellents, and see if they work. Can I get out now? Ah, hanging on.
It turns out shooting cars is wishful thinking.
Ah! Damn it, I missed it.
But Hollywood has a heap of high-speed heroics our car-chasing Clues brothers can investigate.
Yes!
Next up, trading places.
Now, normally, when you want to swap the driver and the passenger in a car, most of humanity does it this way. In the movies, however, they swap from inside the car while the car is actually driving. And as long as we got this closed course, that's what Jamie and I are about to attempt.
As you can imagine, swapping the driver with the passenger while the car is underway is going to be, well, awkward to say the least.
And dangerous. Surely the high-speed car chase seat swap can't be as easy as the movies would have us believe. To get a good look at the action in motion, the guys pop the top for the cameras.
A sunroof. We ought to be able to see what's going on now.
That is just perfect. I love it.
With the car set up for your viewing pleasure, what's the plan?
So the goal here is to swap sides.
Yes.
Any ideas on how we're going to do that?
None at all.
So as long as we get from point A to point B and we're in different positions, we're good, right?
Yes.
Works for me.
And it works because in the movies, the front bench connection is always an unrehearsed emergency measure. But will they complete the course in a time that compares with the 62-second control?
Do I have a prediction? I actually don't have a prediction.
All right, switching seats.
Jamie and I have agreed beforehand not to discuss or do any research about how this kind of stunt actually works.
In 3, 2, 1, go!
I do know one thing. I know that you should not try it at home.
All right, seatbelts off.
Okay.
What do we do?
So I'll go to the back, you go to the front. We'll keep.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I got the wheel.
Yeah!
Yes! Watch out! Watch out! Whoa!
Despite the confined space and tangle of limbs,
All right, let's do it again.
Adam and Jamie manage to maintain speed by keeping a foot on the throttle. Right up until the new driver takes control,
There you go.
which gives them a quick time and clear-cut conclusion.
That's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and we actually made it just as fast as we normally do.
That is fantastic. I love being action heroes.
Like any good geek, I secretly wish I was a movie action hero. And MythBusters has allowed me to play that fantasy out several, if not many times. I've gotten to escape from underwater cars.
I survived!
I've held on to the roof of a car while Jamie tried to shake me off. And I've gotten to jump off buildings repeatedly. And now, I have just discovered that switching seats with somebody is relatively easy.
Woo! That totally worked!
This is so easy, we gotta make it a little harder.
Because cars in the movies are often a little more little.
This is going to be a pretty tight squeeze. Last time I had to do something like this with Adam, it involved jumping into a bathtub together to protect ourselves from explosives.
Hey, that was pretty darn good.
Funny thing was, we jumped out even quicker.
In 3, 2, 1, go! Seatbelts off?
Yep.
Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna go back between the two chairs and then you switch over. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
All right. Ow, ow, ah.
Got the wheel?
Yeah, almost. Yes, yes. Woo! Yeah! Totally did it!
And when the take two switcheroo also goes without a hitch,
We're good.
Whoa! Woo! Seatbelt back on. Let's make up some time.
and in good time,
And time. Yeah!
it's time to put this Hollywood hot seat tall tale to bed.
Well, I think I know how we're going to call this one.
I think we've got to call it plausible.
Plausible but stupid. There's just no reasonable or safe way that you could do that on a real road with real cars around.
No, not at all. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Snakes, loved, hated, feared, and fated, worshipped as gods and as a symbol of evil. These beautiful yet terrifying creatures fascinate and beguile. But one thing's for sure, you don't want them setting up home in your home. So which mythical homemade recipes will keep them out?
Now, this mythical snake repellent comes from India, and it's hemp rope. Now, apparently, if you string this around the perimeter of your property, that'll keep the snakes out. I'm gonna put a little extra around me. According to the myth, because the snakes have soft underbellies, they don't like crawling over the scratchy surface of the hemp rope, bringing the snakes.
The rope trick is a sound theory, but will it work?
Here in the beginning, it's looking really promising, because right now, most of the snakes are on this side of the rope. During our control, there were 18 snakes over along the other side. We'll see how it goes.
The minutes tick by, and the snakes slowly suss out the situation. But after a slow start, it seems their overall assessment is that the rough, prickly rope is no barrier at all.
Oh, look at that. They're creatures of habit. They've come home.
Especially when their destination is as tempting as Tori's trousers.
I probably wanted this to work more than anyone, but at the moment, it doesn't seem to be doing a very good job.
And with a similar result to the control, 19 of 21 making it across the set to the dark side, the result is in.
All right, can we call this one busted? So I can get out of here?
Busted.
Busted.
Yep, the unusual ground level hurdle may have slowed them, but it's clear that this homemade recipe doesn't stop the serpents. So, what's next?
All of the mythical deterrents that we're working with are sort of do-it-yourself, home remedies that you might find on the internet. Now, this mixture of kitty litter and mothballs is supposed to work in two ways. One, it has sort of a crazy texture to it. The second is a very chemical, poisonous sort of smell.
Oh, that stuff is strong. I think I'm gonna pass out.
Now, I think with that, we might actually have a really good home remedy here, because personally, I'm repelled. It smells awful.
It's a two-pronged repellent. The sharp-edged kitty litter is supposed to rub them up the wrong way,
They're coming towards me.
and the pungent pong will purportedly put them off. A sound theory, because by using their tongues to capture scent particles, passing the info to a specialized organ in the mouth, snakes have an ultra-sensitive sense of smell.
Now, I was really hopeful that this one would work, but a snake just crossed the line. It actually is about to come up my pants.
But there are another 20 different species to go. Sit tight, Tori.
I don't like this experiment.
Let's see how the numbers stack up at the end.
You know what? I think they're more agitated. They're moving around quicker, they're darting in and out.
Ah!
It looks like they don't really like the smell. Although, it's not stopping them from crossing, it's just making them more, upset.
Well, that makes 22 of us. Oh, hate mothballs.
Yep, there is no doubt that the snake's behavior was initially adversely affected. But not only do 18 of 21 cross the barrier, the same as the control, one even shows off for the camera, and as before, a few make themselves at home in the host.
Oh, that one's going up my leg. Well, apparently the snakes aren't affected by these mothballs one bit.
Which means this mothball method is busted.
So now we're gonna move on to cayenne pepper.
Who needs this much pepper?
Now the theory here is that it is very uncomfortable for the snakes to touch it on their skin and possibly their smell receptors. Let's see how well this works. I hope it works.
And a few snakes into the test, Tori may just have his wish.
That's the third one that I've seen turn back. They go into it, they sniff, and then they turn back.
They are clearly affected by the strong scent and balk the line.
The cayenne pepper seems to be making the snakes hesitate. I mean, they come forward, but then they kind of move away.
But given the choice between finding a safe place to hide and crossing the pungent pepper, the majority make the journey.
But I mean, as you can tell, if it was working perfectly, there would be not one single snake around me. And as you can see, there are plenty of snakes around me.
Plenty being 17 of the 21, leaving every technique busted and Tori disappointed.
Now, considering my fear of snakes, I was really hoping that we would find some kind of snake repellent. But no matter what we used, we could not keep them out. They just would go wherever they wanted. I guess the only thing that would really stop a snake would be a honey badger.
Adam and Jamie have successfully completed a cooperative driving duet.
Yeah!
Been more miss than hit when multitasking,
Oh, missed it.
and triumphantly traded places. But next up, they're taking car chase chaos to the Mad Max.
You know, swapping seats was fun, but you kind of get in each other's way. It'd be a lot simpler just to kick the guy out of the door if he wanted to take control of the car. I wonder if Adam would be into that.
No! Wait, why would you want to get the guy out of the car in the first place?
Well, what if he's dead drunk, or better yet, he's just dead?
Well, if he's not dead, he will be once you kick him out of the car at speed.
I suppose so.
Did we bring Buster with us?
Bring on the test subject.
Here he comes!
So the question here is that if you had to get a dead body out from behind the wheel of a car that was underway at high speeds, how easy would that actually be?
He's in no condition to drive.
No. I mean, they do it all the time in the movies. I guess there's only one way to find out.
Talk about dead weight.
Yeah.
Now make no mistake, this is the most dangerous thing we're attempting in this episode.
Oh, wait. Safety first. He's ready.
Jamie, with the seatbelt off, will be opening Buster's door and attempting to wrestle Buster out of the car without having full control of the car himself.
Shall we get in and drive this car in the wrongest way possible?
I'm ready.
Okay.
The opportunities for danger and disaster are many. For safety, I will actually be in the back seat of this car with a pair of pedals that give me control of the throttle and the brakes so that I can take some control of this car in case of an emergency.
It's a simple equation. The driver is subtracted from the plot with a well-placed bullet shot, and the hero has to halve the number of bodies in the car. It's lights, camera, fractions.
Driving while getting the dead guy out of the car. In 3, 2, 1, go! All right, the guy is dead. Now what are you gonna do?
Well, let's see. Doors open.
Okay.
Curve coming up. Oh, I gotta get his seatbelt out. Okay. Get out! He's stuck on his seatbelt.
Turn, we gotta turn.
He's caught on the friggin' seatbelt.
Oh, that's it, come on. There you go. Get him. Wow! That was amazing!
Well, that was another in a long line of things you shouldn't do in cars. And there was some faffing about as Jamie was trying to figure out how to get the door open, hold control of the car. He did get Buster out of the car at the very end.
I guess he was dragging along on his face or something.
That's bad.
Well, he is dead, so it's okay.
I heard him like on the ground until the last right-hand turn. Jamie took it really hard, and that was enough centrifugal force, or is it centripetal force, to get Buster out of the car and cross the finish line.
But there's bad news for Buster.
Well, there's his tummy,
The dead body double was successfully dumped,
and there's the rest of him.
but it was tricky and in a significantly slower time. The team isn't convinced this one's in the body bag just yet.
Was that as easy as the movies would lead you to believe? I say no. It actually took Jamie almost a full track to get Buster out, and he was working really, really hard, both to get Buster out and maintain control of the car and keep it at speed. It's not trivial.
Adam and Jamie want certain death proof for the dead body dump. So, Buster, pull yourself together. There's another data run to come.
Dude is dead. What do we do?
When it comes to critter control,
I hate snakes.
the MythBusters message boards have a heap of homemade requests for the team to test.
Lion poop.
But so far, they've come up empty-pawed.
All of our mythical deterrents totally busted.
However, they're not done and busted just yet.
All right, let me paint a picture for you. You want to go enjoy nature, so you pack a picnic lunch.
Got some peanut butter for the kids and pork jerky for Tori and some dried fruit for me. Put it right on top of my salmon.
You leave it in your car and you go for a hike. You come back, the car is decimated because a bear has come by, smelled the food, and torn the car open. How about this? Bacon air freshener? If only you had a bear deterrent, and that's what we're here to test. Homemade bear deterrents. But first, we need a bear.
So behind me is a horse trailer, but in it is not a horse. It is the star of our test today. His name is Baloo. He's an Ursus arctos horribilis. He's a grizzly bear. He stands 7 feet tall, he weighs 700 pounds, and we're about to let him out.
But before we do that, we're going to set up some safety precautions because this bear isn't in a cage or behind a fence. He's just going to be over here with our car. So we're setting up a hot wire that's going to go around the perimeter of where he's going to stay.
Hopefully stay, because Baloo is big, scary big. He may have arrived in a trailer, but there's nothing Hollywood about 700 pounds of muscle, teeth, and claws.
He keys off of our behavior. So for our own safety, we have to behave in a certain way so as not to provoke the bear. And that includes staying within a group.
Oh my God, that is a freaking grizzly bear.
You can look at the bear, but don't look at the bear, or else the bear's gonna be like, what? And look back at you. And finally, the #1 rule, no running. And if we stick to all these things, everything should be fine, right?
I'm not too worried about it because I'm pretty sure I can outrun you two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun you guys.
So will the control test provide a benchmark comparison? Baloo has to smell the food and rip into the car to get to it. If successful, the team can reset and see if their deterrents hamper the grizzly from getting to the hamper.
Baloo is a healthy-sized bear, and he went straight for the water, sat down, cooled off, enjoyed himself a little,
He's going for the van.
and then he went over to the car, kind of sniffed it out. He could tell there was, maybe some food in there. And he decides to inspect the car a little bit, circles it, knocks over a camera or two. Then, instead of just opening the car like a can opener,
Looks like he's trying to open the door.
we have a smart bear here. He knows to get to his picnic basket. He can just open it with the handles. Oh!
He's got the door open.
He didn't have to rip open the car. He knows how to use a handle.
Oh, did you see that? He just flipped the handle open.
Yeah, that is one smart grizzly bear.
Then tears open our cooler, pulling the lid off, tearing into it, and then proceeds to, give the car a little bit of a readjustment. I think it's definitely going to need a little upholstery fixing at this point.
He's going for the camera. That's gonna be a great shot.
Baloo has made a mess of the car, the cameras, and made short work of the team's post-hike lunch. And that all adds up to a perfect control test.
Okay, so now he knows that there's food in the van. So we set up the van again with the same situation, but with deterrence, and see if it'll keep him away.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to find anything that stops this bear.
First, we have to get him out of the van.
Not it.
Our dynamic stunt driving duo did cast out the corpse, but not nearly convincingly enough to call it confirmed.
Well, Buster, I hope that was as much fun for you as it was for me. It presented some challenges, like he got tangled in his seatbelt.
He's caught on the friggin' seatbelt.
And then his feet got caught in the hinge of the car.
Are you dragging him?
That was an experience.
An experience Buster has to relive, or, more to the point, re-die.
This is gonna be so much fun.
But this time it's Adam who's kicking out the carcass.
All right, go!
It's that old car chase chestnut. Dead guys can't drive.
Dude is dead. What do we do?
First up, Adam gets his foot across to the pedals, and then with the car under control, it's bye-bye Buster.
You gotta get out of the car. Oh.
Well, that was both easier and harder than I thought it would be.
All right, here we go.
Harder because you forget that when you're driving a car forward, opening one of the doors is non-trivial. But I finally managed to put my shoulder up against Buster.
Come on! That's it! Yes!
Woo! I only had to get a little bit of him outside the door for gravity to do the rest for me.
I've got control of the car. Yeah!
Done and dumped, and in a suitably high-speed car chase time.
That was far out.
It works.
If not with cinematic slickness,
Come on!
certainly with a physically brutal effectiveness.
That's it!
Oh man, Buster, you broke your arm again.
It was bone-crunchingly successful. The evidence all too clear on the high speed.
I have a feeling this isn't going to be pretty. Okay, he's out of it. Ow.
And there he goes.
I wondered what that bump was.
Yeah, I certainly felt it. Wow.
From Buster's perspective, it was less wow and more ow. But the good news is, it's a wrap.
So how are we gonna call kicking a body out of the car at speed?
Well, it ain't easy, but it's plausible.
It's plausible. I like doing the driving myths on MythBusters. It's given us quite the education, isn't it?
Yeah, you never know when it'll come in handy, do you?
No.
You want to ride back?
No, I'm cool. I'll walk myself back.
I don't know what he's nervous about.
Can you keep a bear out of your car-stored picnic basket?
So this is what happens when you don't have a deterrent. Which brings us to our first deterrent, ammonia-soaked rags.
It's another strong scent-based theory, but has it any chance of success?
Now, I don't know if it's the scent of the ammonia that's covering the scent of the food or just the irritation of the actual ammonia. Kind of like we're decorating a Christmas tree. I mean, I know as I was pouring the ammonia on, my eyes were burning, I couldn't breathe, and right now I can't smell anything. Now remember though, bears smell 75 times better than a German Shepherd, so I have a feeling this one's gonna work.
Tori's confident because with the lunch repacked and reloaded, the pungent aroma of ammonia will surely put the bear off his food and cause him to steer clear of the car.
All right, time to bring out the bear.
You know, I actually predict that the ammonia is not gonna work because the ammonia smells a little bit like urine to me, which is something that wouldn't put them off. I think he's just still gonna open that door, be like, there's food in there, let me get these urine-y, smelly rags out of the way.
After a confident swagger, it's a prediction proven with one nonchalant flick of a meaty paw. And this time, he pops open the front door.
So he's just
Oh my
opened
God!
the door with the soaked rags. The ammonia has done nothing to keep that bear from the van.
He opened the door. How's a bear know how to open doors?
He's, smarter than the average bear. But the point is, was he put off by the deterrent?
So there are two interesting things that I noticed about this test. The ammonia-soaked rags did not deter the bear at all. Second thing, when you think bear, you think destruction. But in this case, the bear actually has amazing dexterity, enough dexterity to open a door and pull a cooler out. I'd have to say, as far as ammonia-soaked rags go, this one's busted.
Baloo agrees, and while he enjoys the fruits, well, peanut butter of his car-opening labor back in his trailer, the team resets the cooler for their final attempt at a nasal knockback.
Next up, cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper, a tasty condiment in Cajun cooking,
I don't know if it's gonna repel a bear, but it's working on me.
but also a key ingredient in pepper spray.
Okay, the bear's about to come out.
Here he comes, 700 pounds of lumbering, powerful, unstoppable appetite. Or is he? His behavior is diverging from the two previous tests. He's clearly hesitating.
Look, he's sort of like sniffing the air.
Could this be the one?
Wow, the cayenne pepper looks like it's actually keeping the bear away from the van.
Yeah, you know, in the other test, he went straight to the van, sniffed around, and went in. This time, he's just kind of avoiding it.
And not just avoiding the van. Out of view on the far side of the vehicle,
Oh my gosh.
700 pounds of claws, teeth, and fur breaches the hot wire.
That is supposed to be like the ultimate barrier for him.
Rather than go near the car peppered with pepper. But with some encouragement, in the form of a marshmallow treat or 10, he's brought back within the safe perimeter.
We have a confirmed for bear repellent.
That works. That's awesome.
From now on, when I'm camping in bear-infested woods, I'm gonna bring a giant jug of cayenne pepper.
Yeah, like you go camping.
Yep, the capsaicin, the active ingredient in the cayenne pepper, is such a concentrated nasal irritant, it was just too much for the bear's hypersensitive nose to bear. And finally, the team has one homemade recipe that actually works.
All right, Carrie, so this is how it works. The Pope is Catholic, and bears do the woods.
Got it.